Hey guys, it's Jen Lefforge. I'm so glad that you're here. If this is your first time here, we talk about Disney Vacation Club, we talk about Walt Disney World, we talk about running, we have all kinds of fun things going on, and I hope if you like what you see, that you'll subscribe, that you'll hit that little bell notification, that you'll give this video a thumbs up, and that you'll comment, because I love interacting with you guys. And if you're a returning subscriber, welcome back. As you guys already know, I am back from my amazing 5 days at Walt Disney World. I've got a guest with me today. I've got Buzz Lightyear here. He is not a new addition. We've had him for a long time. He was my son's when he was little. My son, who is now 22, and actually went with me on this trip. So Buzz is gonna join me today because we are talking about Toy Story Land. And you guys, I have to tell you, I have so much to talk about specific to Toy Story Land that it is gonna be a challenge for me to stay on point today. So I wanna talk specifically about kind of my overall impressions, the 3 rides that exist at Toy Story Land, and the food offering. And then I want to tell you guys what my touring strategy would be, knowing what I know now, kind of about the crowds and what's going on. I want to say at the offset that these are all just my opinions. I didn't do any scientific research. If that is what you're looking for, I would actually send you to touringplans.com. They always do amazing scientific research about how long the waits are going to be at particular times, and what to do about FastPass, and what to do if you don't have a FastPass. And I would definitely rely on them. I look at their stuff all the time. I've had a subscription for years. But this is just kind of my impressions as a first-time visitor and what I might do differently the next time that we go. So first things first, how do you even get there? So when you walk down the steps, like how we used to do the Toy Story Mania Dash back in the day, and you take a left, and so One Man's Dream is on your right. Just past One Man's Dream, you turn a corner, and then you are at Toy Story Land. One of the things that I loved is you really don't see any of the theming until you turn that corner. And it was the coolest experience to walk into a new area of Walt Disney World that I had never experienced before. And we've been going for so many years. I'm trying to think, I guess the last time that happened was when they opened the whole, Beauty and the Beast and the new Fantasyland and Seven Dwarfs Mine Train. But even that does not rival walking into an entirely reimagined land. So I still wish, I feel like it was one of those things where I was taking in so much that I know there are a lot of details that I missed as I'm editing the footage from the vlogs from the trip. And by the way, if you haven't started following those come out every Friday, so you're gonna wanna go and get caught up on those, because I'll have a new one coming out on Friday. But there were just a lot of small theming details that I didn't even notice when I was there and as I was editing the footage. Really cute little things, like in the Slinky Dog Dash queue, there's a big box for a Wheezy toy, and I cracked up because it says, Wheezy bath toy, or Penguin bath toy, Al's Toy Barn, and then it's got bubbles, and then at the bottom it says not for use in water. So I'll put a picture of that right here because that just cracked me up. But the 3 rides that are over there, which you probably already know, are the Slinky Dog Dash, the Alien Swirling Saucers, and Toy Story Midway Mania. They are all 3 amazing attractions. We did experience all 3 while we were there. We did have a FastPass for Slinky Dog Dash, and I'll talk about kind of your FastPass strategy on that in a minute. But overall impressions of the land itself, 2 thumbs up. I felt like Disney did such a great job. The big Christmas lights that you see, all of the boxes, the landscaping, so to really make you feel like you're in a backyard. So there's like big shoots of grass, and it just has such an imaginative feel to it. Even the bathrooms, the restrooms are spelled out with a Scrabble game, and there are Tinker toys everywhere, and it's really just hard to explain how immersive it is. One thing I would say is definitely, if at all possible, experience it during the day and then also come back and experience it at night. If you had to choose one or the other because of your schedule, I would actually see it at night. I think it really shows itself off the best at night. So that would be my recommendation if you have to choose. Hopefully you won't have to, and you can do during the day and at night. But I want to talk about Slinky Dog Dash. The coaster itself is hysterical. Like, it is super, super fun. It's way more, I'm not gonna say it's thrilling because it's definitely a family-friendly coaster, but I would say it's a little bit more intense than I was anticipating. The banks are pretty good. There are 2 launches, which makes it super fun because you kind of think the ride is over and then there's another whole launch, which was great. At night, the lights light up underneath the track. The penguin Wheezy singing at the end, fully animated, that I'll put a little bit of that footage right here. That part just blew me away. The theming and the line, if I had to compare it to an existing roller coaster, I would kind of say that it's somewhere in between Seven Dwarfs and maybe Big Thunder. I felt like it was a little more intense than Seven Dwarfs. It's definitely longer than Seven Dwarfs, which I loved about it. It's very seldom that I will ride a roller coaster and feel like, oh, that was actually longer than I thought it was. But I would say that that is the case with Slinky Dog Coaster. So it is going to be a must-do for me every time I go. And you know, we don't always feel that way about new rides. Like, I love Seven Dwarfs, but if I don't do it every trip, I'm actually okay with that. I'm at the point where I'm really not gonna burn one of my fast passes on it. Sorry, I mean, it's a fun ride, but it's just so short. And I would say that Slinky Dog, as far as the new rides at Walt Disney World, to me is a far better experience than Seven Dwarfs. So I know there may be some people that disagree with me on that, but that's how I felt about that. Moving on to the other attractions, alien swirling saucers, I thought was super fun. My son actually didn't ride that with me because we couldn't get a fast pass for it, and the wait was about 25 minutes, and I chose to wait in the standby line one night, and I just thought it was a riot. It's super fast, so it's kind of over and I think it's literally a minute and a half and it's over, but a really, really fun ride and definitely worth doing. I would wait 25 minutes to ride it. I'm not sure I would burn a Tier 1 Fast Pass for that. So what I mean when I say Tier 1 Fast Pass, all of the 3 Toy Story Land rides right now, you can only get 1 Fast Pass in that category. So you have to choose between Toy Story Midway Mania, Alien Swirling Saucers, and Slinky Dog. Of those 3, 100% I would choose Slinky Dog. You can stand by for Alien Swirling Saucers. When we were there, we saw anything from, I think the shortest wait time was 25 minutes up to, at one point, there was a 60-minute wait. Toy Story Midway Mania, I never saw more than a 30-minute wait the entire time we were there. So that for sure can be ridden standby. But Slinky Dog Coaster is really what you want to try to get your Fast Pass for. And I keep getting ahead of myself, so don't worry. I'm going to tell you what to do if you can't get a Fast Pass for Slinky Dog Coaster in just a second. As far as the food that existed, there really was just the Woody's Lunchbox. A ton of you have asked me if I ate there, and I am so sorry, you guys, we did not, and here's why. The queue for Andy's Lunchbox is in the direct sun, and the line all the times we were there was always very long, and I did not want to wait in the direct sun. And to be honest, they have a few fun looking snack offerings, but none of it really made me, you know, so crazy that I had to go and do it. And there is zero shade in the line. There is some shade when you go to sit down to eat, if you can find a table. But, you know, a lot of people have talked about how there's not a lot of shade in Toy Story Land in general, and that is correct. There is not a lot of shade. I think for me, knowing that, if you're going this summer, I'm gonna say do Toy Story Land either first thing in the morning or do it last thing in the evening. The middle of the day is not gonna be a pleasant time. Well, in my view, the middle of the day in June, July, and August is not a pleasant time to be in any Disney theme park, but certainly it's not a good time to be in Toy Story Land. So if you can plan to be there early morning or in the evening, I think you'll have a much better experience. And I do hope to do Woody's Lunchbox next time. So I'm sorry to those of you that really wanted me to try it. I just didn't get a chance. The shopping, there is no store in Toy Story Land. So there is a, on Sunset Boulevard, the first store that you come to, and I'll put the name of it down here. It's on the left. It's called Sunset something. I'm not remembering the name of it, but it actually has the largest selection of Toy Story merchandise. In Toy Story Land itself, they only have kiosks, and they have several of them, and they do have, I'm sure between all the kiosks, they have all of the merchandise, but the biggest kind of concentration is at that store on Sunset Boulevard. So if you're looking to see kind of all of the merch at once, you want to go ahead and head over there. I do think it's an odd choice that they don't have a shop in Toy Story Land, only because it really means there's no place to get air conditioning. The only place to get air conditioning in the entire of Toy Story Land is the bathrooms and the queue for Toy Story Midway Mania. Everywhere else is you are exposed to the elements. There's shade at the Alien Swirling Saucers queue and at the Slinky Dog Coaster queue. So you do have a covering, but there's no air conditioning. It's not a big space, so kind of keep that in mind. Like I would say the entire area, it's not that much. It's small. It's not a huge area. So kind of keep that. It's definitely smaller than Pandora, and there's really just the 3 rides and kind of 1 walkway. So it's not like you have to spend hours and hours there, but I do like people to be aware ahead of time about the lack of air conditioning, especially if you're going in the summer. All right, moving on to my strategy if I were to go back. I'm gonna first talk about if you're able to secure a FastPass, and then I'm gonna talk about if you're not able to secure a FastPass. So of course, if you can get a FastPass, I would go ahead and use that Tier 1 FastPass for the Slinky Dog Dash. It's definitely worth it. We walked right on the FastPass line. They seem to be very efficient in the queue there. So definitely do that if you can. What I would do, however, is if I was an on-site guest, and I'm kind of assuming that if you were able to get a Slinky Dog FastPass that you are an on-site guest, I would actually take advantage of the early magic hours while they're offering it, and I wouldn't do Toy Story Land at all. So I would kind of schedule my FastPass for later in the morning, and then when I first got to Hollywood Studios for extra magic hour, I would bang out Star Tours, Twilight Zone Tower of Terror, Rock and Roller Coaster, because what we noticed is for the first maybe 4 hours of the day, y'all, there was like nobody in the rest of Hollywood Studios. And if you watch my trip videos, you'll see that. I mean, it was like 11:30, and the only place we saw anybody was, well, I mean, Rock and Roller Coaster area was a little bit busy, but we're talking 20-minute wait for Tower of Terror that really wasn't even 20 minutes. It was a walk-on. So FastPass and regular standby were getting on at the exact same time. Toy Story Midway Mania, even though that's in Toy Story Land, it's, you know, because it's an older attraction, that in the middle of the morning you could ride with only a 20-minute wait. Star Tours, for sure. Star Tours was a walk-on pretty much the entire time we were there. So if I had a FastPass for that, I wouldn't even head to Toy Story Land first thing, because I feel like you're just gonna get a rush of people, and Jennifer doesn't really do that. I don't like the rush of people. It really has to be something amazing for me to do that. I would schedule your FastPass for maybe 9:30, and then you'll probably get literally everything else done in Hollywood Studios that you wanna do during that extra magic hour. If you don't have access to that, and now I'm gonna switch over to what if I can't get a FastPass for Slinky Dog Dash, what should be my strategy? Honestly, I would still do the same thing. I would wait actually to do the attractions in Toy Story Land until the evening. When we both nights that we were there, we noticed wait times went down significantly. And if you're not aware of this, at Walt Disney World, as long as you're in the line when the park closes, so they had extended hours when we were there, so Hollywood Studios was open until 10:30. As long as you were in the line for Slinky Dog Dash by 10:30, they were gonna allow you to ride it before they kicked you out of the park. That's when you're gonna find the least waits, the shortest waits. And I honestly think if you waited till maybe the hour before park closing, especially on a night where you've got Fantasmic going on and the Star Wars fireworks going on, you could head over there and really easily bang out those rides. Also keep in mind then the sun is down and you're not waiting in the heat of the day. So if I were to do a full Hollywood Studios day, and that is a question a lot of you asked me, was do you feel like Toy Story Land turns Hollywood Studios into a more than one day park? It depends on what you like. We love Hollywood Studios. I think it definitely turns it into a full day park, but what I would do is go in the morning and do all the non-Toy Story Land attractions and maybe do Toy Story Midway Mania, take a break in the heat of the day, and then go back at night, see Toy Story Land at night, and you could easily ride those 3 attractions without too bad of a wait. So that would be my strategy. Again, this is not scientific. I'm not sure if the week we were there was just an anomaly, although I'm seeing a lot of other reports from summer visits that lines are just not what people were thinking that they would be. So that would be my strategy for Toy Story Land. So do I recommend going just to see Toy Story Land? 100% yes. Disney has knocked it out of the park in my view. The atmosphere over there is super fun. The cast members are very engaging. The Green Army men are walking around everywhere. The music just makes me smile, and the whole land just made me very, very happy. I hope you're able to take your family this summer. What other questions do you have for me? Is there anything I can answer for you kind of about touring strategy and what you should do? I hope that you get to go, and I hope that you love it. And even if you're just dreaming about going, I hope that today was helpful for you. Make sure you subscribe, like, comment, do all the things to get involved. Next week, I think I'm gonna do my Q&A video. So if you have not submitted your question yet, make sure you go to the giveaway video and do that so that I can be sure to include your question in next week's Q&A. I hope you guys have a magical day, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.